If you have a Maytag dryer and suddenly it has stopped drying, well, I'm going to show you how to diagnose it with a multimeter, and just with a 1/4 inch drive socket, we'll be able to get in here and fix this thing. Now I am working on a Maytag commercial technology washer, and it has a display like this. This really kind of makes a difference, so we know how we're going to take this thing apart. Doesn't take very much. But before you get to this part, your dryer can actually act like it's working normal but never produce any heat, which is pretty amazing because this thing's always coming up with like an error message if the power goes out. But nonetheless, it can run but not dry, and that might be what you're facing. First things to do is to check to make sure this thing is blowing. If you unhook the vent from the back and you feel air coming through, then you know it's blowing, but it's not hot. Or make sure if it is blowing hot on this end, then go outside and make sure that your dryer vent is not plugged up. Okay, very dangerous for that to be plugged up. But if all of that is fine, one last thing, check your fuse box and make sure that your breaker is flipped on. This will have a 30-amp breaker, so it'll be a 15 on each pole. Normally they're tied together. Every now and then they're not. Okay, so one of them turns the drum, the other one activates a heating element. So normally they're tied together. So if this thing is coming on, normally it's not an issue. Now that I've said all of that, let's take this thing apart. And the first place to go is behind this dryer. There's going to be a series of little 1/4 inch screws. You're going to want to take that off so we can pull this off of here. Now, I have already removed all of these at the bottom. There's one here in the middle. It's kind of oblong. Take all of those out, and then that just leaves me with these on the top. Of course, make sure you've unplugged it. You don't want to get shocked. Okay, and this cover comes right off. Lay it to the side and put the screws somewhere where you're not going to lose them. And then we can go ahead and go to the next step. Okay, now that we've removed the rear panel, you notice that this bracket is, all the screws are out of it. Lift this up and then push and slide forward. This will release the whole top part. The next thing you're going to want to have is a Torx wrench, and I don't know what size this is. This one isn't marked, but it comes in a whole collection here. You're going to want to take these 2 Torx at the very top off, because what we need to get to is all down here, and this whole cover will need to come off in one piece. So go ahead and take these off, and then lay these 2 screws. Just remember that these go on the very top. In fact, I'm going to leave this one screw here, so when I loosen the bottom ones, this thing doesn't come falling out on me till I'm ready. Next thing is take your filter out. Ooh, that one needs to be cleaned off. And then go ahead and take these 2 screws. This holds the filter housing on. You don't want that attached. So you take just a regular Phillips screwdriver, or here I'll have an attachment, and I'm going to take these off. And the door is already trying to come with it. Okay, put them in your cup that you gather everything at. Now there's a cover to the screws we need to get to at the bottom, so you just get a good firm grip and pull it out. You hear it pop. Let me do it on this one. And out it comes. You think you're breaking it, but you're not. It just snaps in place. All right, we're almost done pulling the cover off. There's going to be 4 1/4 inch screws at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now remember, I still have that Torx screw on the very top because I didn't want this coming out at me before I was ready to. I've got the last screw off at the very top, and it will just come right off. You'll see this wire still attached to it, so you can unhook it. So you just get it completely out of the way, and you just grab this, and there's a little clip right here. Just pick that up, wiggle, and out it comes. Now you can leave this here. This will get laid to the side, and wow, we got a lot of dust here. Now, since this was so dusty, before I even start diagnosing, I went ahead and try to vacuum a lot of this lint out as I possibly could. But I'm going to go ahead and remove this blower cover or the filter housing cover. That will give me some more, freedom to move around in here. I removed the screws and then just pull it out. Now, this is an excellent time to clean out all the passages. Now, we've had this dryer going pretty much every single day for 4 years. So it's got a lot of hours and obviously a lot of sand and dust. All right, there's some fuses right along the side here. And find this little bracket here. Now, I've seen where you can just bend this down. Of course, it will bend back up. See all the elements there? That's what actually gets hot, gets orange looking, and it heats up. But the blower will blow through there and, get everything hot. Now we're going to check for continuity. And continuity is you want to make sure an electrical charge can go all the way through it. If not, that means it's either blown out, broken, something's wrong. Now this multimeter makes an audible beep, but in order to check continuity, you're going to go to that symbol right there. Can you see it? That's going to say, that's showing continuity right there. And one way to test it that makes sure that the sound's gonna work, you take your two leads, hear the beep. Okay, that means the circuit is able to be completed. All right, if you can just see, I've disconnected the two leads going into the element. Just move them off to the side. I'm going to take one lead here, and without trying to block the camera, I'm going to go to this top one. We'll get to the top one first. Okay, can you see? I got it on one tab, and on the other one. Nothing's happening. I can even reverse them. It's going to do the same thing. Nothing at all. So just make sure that my multimeter is working. I'm going to do this again, and I can hear the beep. So I know that's working. So there is something, probably a break in a heating element down in there. So I'm going to remove that heating element, and we'll be able to find where the break is. Okay, to show you all the difference, what I'm really talking about, here's the new one. I went ahead and got it, figuring that's what the problem was. Here's those two connections. Here's the top one, here's the bottom, and it's making a connection. Continuity is going all the way through. If you look up close, these things are thin. They get hot, they get cold, they get hot, they get cold, and eventually they just wear out. So we have an issue for sure with the old heating element. Now to get this heating element out, again, make sure this thing's unplugged. You should already have it unplugged. You're going to move these to the side, and there's going to be a 1/4-inch screw that you can barely see right there. All right, using the camera to see what I'm doing. And just back it out. That will loosen the heating element bracket, and we can pull it out. That's loose enough. And that comes out. Let's see if we can pull it out. I'm going to get a little more leverage. Okay, I forgot about one. Remember when I bent this down? Bend it back up. And let's remove that 1/4-inch screw right there. And I'm going to have to go to it on this side. Now be careful, a lot of this metal's sharp. Okay, one other screw is right here, 1/4-inch. So there was three. There was 1, 2, and 1 on the side. Remove these, and this bracket will come out. Lay it to the side. You don't have to take out this whole case. So this actually slides out. You're going to have to get behind here and just give it a good pull, and it will start coming out. And there is the old one. Now let's see if we can find a break in it, because obviously there was something definitely wrong. sometimes you can see it. I don't see a break. I can tell it's been getting really hot. Oh, there it is. There's the break right there. That is why it wasn't working anymore. Okay, that is most likely our culprit. Now I'm going to check a few more of these sensors and just make sure while I'm down here there's no other sensors to be replaced. But I mean, this is going to be the issue right here. I'm going to go ahead and check out the thermal fuse while I'm here. The thermal fuse is right behind this plastic cover. Okay. And the same way, just like we checked everything else, I'm going to check for continuity. Now there's two. This is a one-time use thermal fuse. And I can just get to the contacts right here. It's difficult to reach. Okay, one connection. Uh-oh, we may have an issue. Let me get that. I'm glad I checked it. And pull this off. Pull it up a little bit. Thermal fuse is good. All right, here's a better shot of the thermal fuse. And it's gonna be that one right here. Really hard to get to, especially when you're trying to record. What you're gonna do, just with that one, this one on the right, this one here, it's not gonna make a noise. It's not gonna show continuity. That's normal. But this one over here, this is the thermal fuse. If that goes, even if you replace the heating elements, it's not gonna do any good. So let's test that out again. Okay, just kind of hard to get my fingers in here. Okay, and then right there. Come on. There, hear it? Time to put the new one in. So we're just lining up with the slot here. And try not to bend any of the new elements. Just slide it in there till it's even with the hole that the screw goes in. There's the screw hole there. So now that's lined up. I'll put the 1/4-inch screw in there, make the connections again, put the supporting bracket with its screws, and then we'll be on our way from being done with this. Okay, we have the 1/4-inch screw in there. We made the connections again. This is nice and snug in there. Let's put the bracket back in. Slightly dusty bracket. Okay, and goes just like this. The tab goes in. Okay, now I'm gonna put the screws back in it. There's one down here, then one that goes up there on the very top. Okay, now just make sure you make all the connections again. Don't forget this one. There's only one way it slide on. There, that's connected. Let's make sure we put this plastic cover off of, over these fuses, and 1/4 inches. And really the rest of this is just pretty much 1, 2, 3. We have the cover go over the fan, and then we can put all the big pieces on. Put this cover back on once we've got near about all the dust out of it. Just slides up here, and then line it up with the bolt holes, the screw holes, I mean. Okay, it's there. Next, we're ready to put the front cover on, so make sure you go ahead and make the connection. Get the door a little closer. I know it's kind of hard to see with my hands in the way, but make that connection back again. Pick this up. Just let it rest on the top. Same on this side. And then don't forget, this little connection here has a little plastic push tab. Just holds that wire in place, keeps it from rubbing, and it just pops up there. I'm going to go ahead and put my screws here, 1 and 2, the 2 top ones, and then just go down and put everything, screw everything else back in. Okay. Screw it on down. Hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, nothing's going to snap into place down here. So just nice and snug. Now don't over torque this, because then you're going to just strip it out. Just sheet metal. Nice and snug. Come down through here. Okay, go ahead and put my 1/4-inch screws here at the bottom. I went ahead and loosened the 2 screws I put in at the top, so it gives me a little wiggle room down here. I'm not going to tighten all of these down until I got all the screws in. And then the 2 Phillips. Okay, go right here for the filter housing. Try not to strip it out. And then put this at a low setting. Okay, same here. Now go ahead and tighten all the ones I just left. You know, not all the way, but just go ahead and make them nice and snug. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up here with the Torx, tighten these down. And then the last thing we have to do is just slide the hood back on and put all of those little screws in the back. Make sure the door opens. Yep, I'm gonna slide this back over here, and there should be a couple of tabs so you can get a visualization. See these little raised tabs here? So we're gonna slide this forward and then back where it gets underneath those tabs. Remember to lift back up on this thing so you can do that. So slide forward, slide back. And almost finally, go ahead and take this cover. Go ahead and take this cover and go ahead and put your screws back in. Again, don't over tighten. There's plastic in here. You don't want to crack it. So I've put my little handy drill to a low setting. All right, moment of truth. Did it fix it? Let's turn it on. Power failure has occurred, okay? All right, turn it back on. All right, medium high, let's turn that thing all the way up. High, dry, good. All right, let's give it a whirl. 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, I can already feel the heat. That's what did it. Ooh, I can smell it. The new. It's got that new burn. No, if it smells like, oh no, it's catching on fire, don't worry about it. The new has to burn off of it. So probably a good idea to let it run dry just for a couple of minutes. But anyway, it's fixed. Praise the Lord, it's fixed. Okay. And it didn't take that much. It didn't cost a whole bunch of money. The kit I bought online for about $26, $28. I could have got a much better kit for like 40, but I needed to dry my clothes. Okay, so if this fails, I'll go ahead and get the $40 kit and bring it in and do it that way then. But either way, you can do this. It just takes some time. It took me about an hour and a half, but it only took me that long because I was filming for you. Anybody can really get this done in under an hour, if not less. So Mailman Mechanic, like and subscribe. If this has been helpful to you, please like and subscribe. You can pay me back so much by just subscribing. See you at the mailbox or your laundry room.